Gosh, there we are. Hey, what a day. I've just practically walked in the door. DHL Express keeps me busy, Wyatt. And today was a great example of that. Well, Tuesday sometimes can be a lighter day, but today we're oftentimes at the end of the day checking on our other routes and our other couriers, and I needed to go help somebody today a little bit in Wake Forest. So we walked in the door, and Wyatt, you were being entertained by the wonderful Tracy TL.
That's right.
And who am I with today? Wyatt of Joe's Cousin. That's right, and we'll be learning more about this superstar local musician. And so glad you could be with us tonight, and thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here, and it's good to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. I'm LT Bands and Clubs of the Triangle on Facebook and Instagram, and of course our website. Hope you've checked it out, Wyatt, or you will, and that's lovelocalmusicwith.us. So we have a couple of places that people can go, as you know, Wyatt, for answering the question, hey, where can I hear great music today, this week? And we like to push local music forward, and that's a great thing to do. And we've started last year, maybe we've got 10 of these under our belt, interviews with local musicians, learning a little bit more about you and just your aspirations, your goals, your background. How did you get here today, and where have you been? I think I did I've done some invites on our pages, right? Hey, I'm wishing to do some interviews, and Wyatt was one of many that answered that post and said, hey, I'd like to get to know you better, TL and Tracy and LT, and here you are, and we're so glad.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Thank
Let
you
me
so
see,
much for having me.
how far we're in Briar Creek. Where do you live in the Triangle?
I live in Apex.
Oh, Apex.
I live in Apex, about 30 minutes away.
Okay, we love Apex, the city, the peak of
good living.
Yeah, thank you. The peak of good living, and lots of friends all around the Triangle, musicians and sorts. I think of Apex. Of course, I got to think of, Apex, maybe local bar, the Cary Apex line, local bar on Highway 64.
Local bar on 64, Doherty's.
We certainly think of Peak of the Vine, downtown Apex. So lots of nice venues that we've enjoyed for local music, and sometimes that we hope that continues to grow. But Joe's Cousin is special. It is a one-man band, and let me go ahead and give the definition, or just in terms of what Joe's Cousin is doing, and that is this man does it all, Wyatt. Joe's Cousin, and that is purely analog with no drum machines and no loop pedals. What you hear coming out from Wyatt, Joe's Cousin, is exactly what is being played at that moment by one person, right?
That's correct.
By you, Wyatt. And it's raw, it's unfiltered, and we call that American music. And
That's right.
It's so nice to highlight that, because obviously we can highlight solo, duo, trio, full bands, but rather unique what you are doing. How did this come about that you want personalities, and you try to get a band together. You've got to work with different personalities. So here you are. Does that mean you're hard to manage?
I must be hard to get along with. When I get up on the stage to play, I'm playing with all my friends.
Yes.
I'm the guitar player, the drummer, and the singer. So I guess everybody I get along with is all right up there with me.
Exactly.
Time, yeah.
But how did it come about, this concept, or did you put it together and said, hey, I think I'm musically inclined that I can do this? It had to be a challenge.
I was a drummer before. I've been a guitar player all my life. And one day I was playing the guitar and I said, I'd like to have a beat with this. And so I got behind the drum kit and started boom, boom on the kick pedal. And, and I said, okay, I like that. And as that progressed and I started playing out, I started putting a bass drum and a cajon with a foot pedal.
Okay.
And so I had that basically a bass drum and a snare sound. And I did that for several years. And eventually I found this company called Farmer Foot Drum. I'm going to give them a plug because I play their kit.
Okay.
And they make this fantastic foot drum kit. I couldn't bring it here just because it's a little bit much to be bringing. But
understand.
It's an entire drum kit that's got 12 pedals, and you play it with your feet. And it can replicate a basic drummer. Now, it's not going to be as good as some fill drummer or something like that, but I can replicate a basic drum beat with it. And so it's really enjoyable to play. It fills that space up, and I'll play the guitar and sing at the same time.
Okay. So you've just listed it, you've just described it, but you got to remind me again. So you're providing most often it's drums, it's the guitar,
and vocals.
and vocals.
And the
Okay,
vocals.
so what a combination and of a big sound coming out of Joe's cousin. Now I read the description of Joe's cousin, and basically in your description you have at least 5 cousins. But the name of you, or the name of the one man band, is Joe's cousin. But that came about.
I have 5 cousins.
Did you pick favorites?
I didn't. No, and I love them all dearly. I have 5 wonderful cousins. Joe seemed to have a good ring to it, and they're all really neat. Joe's a real cowboy, like a real cowboy.
Okay.
Lives in a saddle, rounds up cattle, and lives out in Texas. And the name Joe's cousin was kind of a play really on that we're all nobody. And we all kind of get caught up in ourself. But anytime you go to a big event, we all get so self-centered. But hey,
Right.
who's that guy over there? Oh, that's just Joe's cousin.
Right.
And so it was a play on how forgettable we all can be. And I just happened to have a cousin named Joe, so it worked out perfectly.
Right. Well, nice. I wanted to hear that, but yes, and I'm ready to do a post on Facebook. Hey, what are some of the favorite names of bands that you have heard or you've enjoyed? Because I think naming of a band or one person or whatever sometimes is becoming more sometimes strange, but sometimes unique, just in terms of the names. One of my favorite has to be my friend's Your Mama's New Boyfriend Band.
Oh, yeah.
Your Mama's New Boyfriend Band.
That's a great band name.
And is there Skinny Cousins Band, or I think, but there's a lot of great examples. Maybe you can post under this interview a couple of examples for fun band names. Hey, where did you were you born in North Carolina?
I was not. I'm originally from California, from a city called West Pittsburgh. They've actually changed the name since I left. Now it's called Bay Point, California. It's I don't know why. It's in the East Bay of the Bay Area in California, just outside of Concord, in between Concord and Antioch.
Okay.
It's a nice little town.
Born and raised there?
Well, I moved around a lot, but that was always kind of home base.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
What got you to North Carolina or Apex or
Well, I
area?
ended up in the military, and I came to North Carolina in 1991, and just absolutely fell in love with the state, and here I am now.
Now, where were you stationed?
I started out at Fort Bragg when I was in the Army. I started there. I ended up later in the United States Coast Guard, which I actually retired from, and I've been stationed at Camp Lejeune with the Coast Guard, believe it or not. We have a unit there. Been stationed up in Virginia, Buffalo, New York, and several other places.
So retired military. How many years?
25.
25, Wyatt. Well, thank you so much for your service and dedication to our country. Thank you. And now we're talking of Joe's cousin. It's typical, but I think you were sharing earlier. Are you in a band also?
I am. I'm in a band called Backseat Revival, and that's a 2-piece band, and we're kind of heavy. It's a guitar and vocals from me and a drummer. And we don't play as often as Joe's cousin does, but we do play, and when we play, we bring it pretty hard.
Now, this unique sound of Joe's cousin, and thinking about it over the last couple of days, I mean, I'm looking forward to the concept of you, Joe's cousin, or similar to you. I'm just thinking, gosh, I'd like to see this. I'd see it at a bar. I'd see it at a brewery. I'd see it at a music venue. But festivals, conventions, the state fair next to the 8-legged pig, right?
I would love to be next to the 8-legged pig. I would love to be next to that and the bearded lady.
But but it is again with kids or the family concept, I got to be thinking adults and kids. No, what did I just hear, or what sounds are coming from one person, Wyatt? And have you played a lot of those places?
I haven't played.
Is that the dream? Or
I've played one festival twice. I played the Yadkin Valley Pumpkin Festival 2 years in a row.
Okay.
And that's the only festival I've been able to get into. It's much like getting into the bar business. You have to get one to get others, and at the beginning it can be challenging, and seeming to get into the festivals is a little bit of a challenge, but I would definitely like to.
Right. Have you done any conventions, or obviously that's an opportunity? I think of it, I was a claims adjuster for North Carolina Farm Bureau for 9 years. We'd have these state conferences, And yes, these dollars obviously spent around a conference, a convention center. And gosh, why not have Joe's cousin in the big lobby foyer? Just a great source of entertainment.
That could be fun.
And a great source. So glad to pitch that right here
Yeah,
for ideas. And Joe's cousin in the Triangle is available. Make sure we want to make sure that people can find you quickly. And I have found you and got to know you better on Facebook. Joe's Cousin on Facebook. Please go there, like the page, right?
Right, yeah, like the page, Joe's Cousin Music. But if you put Joe's Cousin, I'll be the one that comes up.
Right, like the page and learn more about Wyatt, Joe's cousin. Checking out some photos, videos, and so forth. Over the last couple of days, we grabbed a video or two and posted it to BC Bands and Clubs of the Triangle to get a little taste of what was coming in terms of doing the interview. Again, I'm with Wyatt of Joe's Cousin. This is part 1. We're going to take a small break, come back for part 2. And in fact, like he said, he has not brought the total operation, the total drum set and everything, but we're going to, I think we have your guitar here, don't we?
I brought an acoustic guitar.
Bought an acoustic guitar. We're going to start part 2 with a small sampling of Wyatt, Joe's Cousin, and we appreciate it. Come right back right after this. We'll talk to you soon.